cool. You're in a beautiful relationship, and I'm not saying that like it's not like I'm not saying. I don't want this to come off of as like, oh, like you don't seem like confident or whatever. That's not what I mean by this. But like just like who you are, and I think this is something I mean I love about you as well. Is like you're a very like somewhat meek and like apologetic person. Like you're very like I feel like you're so kind to everyone else. Like I feel like you don't give yourself as much space as like I would give you.
Yeah.
Like just in terms of like
how far you are.
Like how far? Like I feel like you know like when people if someone were to like talk about what you do or things about you, you kind of like. You shrug it off like it's whatever, but it's not whatever.
No,
like
it's
you're
like one
really
of those guys
like
that's actually humble.
Like yeah, like you're insanely humble.
Yeah.
Like I genuinely like I tell my mom like when I hang out with you, I'm like I hang out with this really cool guy. Like I brought home like some of the coffee like you made like to like give it like to have with my parents and like you know like my friend who makes this insane art also made this insane coffee. Like,
I mean, I think you're being too kind right now.
But I'm not.
No, like deadass.
But it's exactly that. It's you're very self-dismissive. Mm-hmm. Like in terms of like I wish you could understand like how worthy of
praise
everything and praise you are in my eyes that you seem to like dismiss upon yourself.
I mean. But I don't know. That's interesting. I've never thought about that. So I'm just flustered.
Yeah, and I feel like you don't even think about that because you're not even.
It kind of sounds like I'm shitting on you. Like
be more. Like, no.
Be more confident. I'm not trying to like.
No, I mean you're just being very kind actually. But no, I mean I guess it's just because like, I don't know. I mean, when I guess I don't want to take space in groups in general because I was kind of a pariah when I got into when I started school because I had never been in a like I'd always been at home.
Okay.
And so I got beaten on a lot when I was when I got into the school system because I wasn't like ready for.
You weren't adjusted to that?
I wasn't adjusted to when I got to kindergarten. I wasn't ready for the kids. So I got beaten a lot, and you know people like to beat on me because I wouldn't fight back. And I guess from that I took a real like. Sort of like fear of like groups of people in general. But you know when I think about the moments, and then you know when I think about the moments I was like the most confident in myself, I was also a bum and I was like just helping friends push drugs or like stealing or whatever. So like so like in both areas I was in just like I was really not doing well in general. Like if I'm like when I was not putting my foot down, it wasn't good. When I was putting my foot down, I was fucking up my life. So I'm kind of in this constant sort of like back and forth of like I'm trying to like be in the middle of it. So I'm just trying to be like.
I think that's why you're such a well-rounded person. You're a well-rounded person, you know. For me, it's like you're hardworking, but you know how to pace yourself. You're kind, but you won't let people like abuse you. And I think it's because you've had this past of like you've seen the fuck shit, and you also know how to be a good guy, like a good person.
Yeah, but it's just like I just feel like you know it's like I'm always scared that I don't know. I also know I really want to please people in general. I'm a people pleaser, which is not something I'm proud of. I feel like it's not a good quality trait, but like I don't know. I think I'm just more comfortable being not taking space and watching. Yeah.
Like I think like I feel like I wish I could like celebrate you more. Like even when it comes down to like you know, like it just like I was saying like climbing, and you just kind of like slip in like oh yeah I used to climb like V8 or whatever. Like that's so impressive to me.
I mean,
like,
it is impressive
and it's
to,
just like it's
general,
so
yeah.
like kind of shrugged off, like nonchalant for you, and I'm like,
That's a lot of work. Climbing a V8
that's
is
a lot of work. Like
You
I
have
feel
to
like
care.
this, like who you are.
Yeah.
And from what I mean, I don't know your entire life. I don't know you that well, but like from what I hear of like what you've gone through and stuff, you know, we've all gone through shit. But like to be the person you are that's sitting in front of me today, that's like has the mental health you do, that has the self-respect, the social and emotional intelligence you do, like that takes a lot of work. Like I feel like all the stuff like you do, like it takes a lot of.
But I'm also medicated, so you know I skip steps.
No, that's not skipping steps. I'm medicated. You know how brave you have to be to accept the medication?
Bro, one of our first OG conversations. Yeah.
I used to be like Calvin helped me with this, but it was like I'm on medication and I used to struggle with the idea of being medicated because it felt like cheating or it felt fake or I didn't like the idea of it. And I mean, Calvin, like actually, very early on in our friendship, like we ended up having this big talk about it at the park bench in Jean Mal's. And he was telling me like, no, like I mean, like
yeah, we had like we were talking about the pros and cons, and I was like, bro, this medication for everything. It's like what? Like now I've like fucking like when I have a teeth issues, what? I'm not gonna go to the dentist even though I can fix it, you know? And like, it's like. You should take the.
If there's something that you can take that makes your quality of life better, like why would you
not do it?
Deny it for yourself?
Yeah.
Especially like playing this like you know, I could work through it like through other stuff and like whatever. Like I'm sure you've tried other stuff. I spent years doing other stuff and like sometimes people are just different. And like your mental chemistry is different. Your life circumstances are different. Everyone is given a different set of cards, and luckily we live in a day and age in a world where there's the technology to like be able to balance the playing field.
Yeah, and also like we
I shouldn't
obviously
feel guilty about it.
I don't believe in over medication and all that. That's what I'm trying to push, but like there's a reason why those shits exist. Like some people are fighting for this to exist because they know how hard it is to go through life as like people with like more like difficult mental health issues. Like we all have mental health issues, but sometimes it's like you have like actual like hormonal disbalance and shit like that makes you, or like your brain doesn't wire like certain way, and it just makes life way harder. And like if there's a pill to fix it, or at least like help a little bit, like fucking pop that shit, honestly. Like, and if not, then like okay, but just accept the consequences, you know. I don't think like there's wrong. There's no wrong in helping yourself, even if it's through medication. That's like, you know.
That's true, right? But what would make you feel closer to me?
What's the question?
Oh, that's the question.
Yeah,
the question. What would make you feel
closer to me? Yeah.
That's a good question. I don't know. It's funny. I feel like close to you in a certain sense, even though we don't hang out like all the time. But like we've been hanging out more for sure. Yeah. Which is cool. But like I also feel like you're the type of person that we instantly kick it off because we are the same type of person that just love doing whatever the fuck we're doing.
Yeah.
Try to live a good life. Don't bother nobody. And yeah, that's like it's a type of people, you know what I mean? And like I think that's how I feel close to you. How I would feel closer, I don't know, like time and just living shit together. I feel like for me it's like, you know, this conversation. This is making me closer to you. Absolutely. I feel like that's how you get closer to people, talking with them and living.
Two things. One, what we did today, which is both like you called me out on something, like the whole like Kira situation of like, you know, like, I mean, we're not gonna get back into that, but you called me out on something that was like, you know, confrontational and in terms of like and like, you know, eye opening. And like I feel like in a sense I called you out on something like you like I feel like you need to give yourself more credit. And those are both things that like I feel like it takes me, I have to be a certain level of comfortable with someone to be able to like say something real that might be hard to hear or could be taken badly. And so getting through that with you right now today, and like the fact that like everything was like well received and like, you know, it like that makes me feel a lot closer to you. The other thing that would make me feel closer to you is going camping.
Going camping would be fire.
Like for some reason, I just going camping really brings people together, and I feel like if we went camping together, it would make it like imagine like building a fire together, roasting marshmallows, sharing stories over that fire and said marshmallows, like going for a hike, like getting hot and sweaty and jumping in the lake. I would get a lot closer to you, and I would have a really good time.
That's true.
If you're ever interested.
Traveling, like this type of shit. Traveling together, like I feel like I got so close to Charlie and Luke because of the traveling we did together. Because it was funny, because me and Luke, for example, we started hanging out like not that long ago before we went to Japan, like only a few times, but like we clicked instantly, Yeah. And then like when we were in Japan, it's like okay, now we live together for like a month, And so it's like, okay, now we're in our underwear. It's instantly like brotherhood shit. And I feel like that's what traveling brings to you. It's like it breaks a barrier that like, okay, now we just have to be comfortable because like it's everyday life, And if we're not, then it's gonna be weird. So I feel like that's a thing we could do together that bring us together, traveling. I feel like a trip, oh my god, you, Thierry, me and Teo, bro.
Bro,
oh my god!
If the four of us went
Barcelona
camping,
some shit like
bro,
that?
I don't know why, but I really want to go camping with you.
Yeah,
bro. If the four of us went camping, imagine.
Be fire.
It would.
And we take pictures in the forest.
Bro, it would be for history.
It would be for history. We'd make spider dogs. We'd sing some tunes around the fire.
This would get very silly, like silly.
Oh,
drink a couple. Me and Thierry would drink a couple day Guinness.
Yeah.
Cheeky little day Guinness.
Oh, I feel like we'd have a fire force like for people
I do
trip
shrooms in the forest.
Guys, no, but if we go like camping / longer trip in like Scandinavia, like like we could camp in Scandinavia. I don't know which country exactly, but like and I want to do the hot spring shit. Like that they have.
Oh my
god,
we're bound to make this. We're gonna go to Iceland. And
yeah, exactly.
This is gonna make it out of the group chat.
Bro, Japan
made it out of the group chat.
Like, bro, Japan was just like this. Like, it was me, like, okay, I want to go to Japan, and then I talk about it with my friends, and then we're like, oh,
Iceland would be a fire trip, because like we would just need a car, and basically it's like a big road all around it. Yeah, so we.
Yeah, and we can go to the hot spring. I don't know how do they call that. Is it hot springs?
Hot springs.
Yeah. Okay, hot springs.
There's a bunch of them. Yeah.
And then we just go like see the architecture in the small towns. Like this, I feel like because it's like very Quebec in a certain sense, Like
it does. It's giving like no, because the landscape is like a whole other planet, right?
Yeah, no, it's like different. But it's like for me, it's like cool because I feel like our group we would all enjoy that.
Secret Life of Walter Mitty?
Yeah, it's so fucking hard. I love it. Yeah, okay.
You would love that.
Exactly. Let's have like the Secret Life of Walter Mitty trip, right? We go and see, we longboard and then like take the plane and shit like.
Yeah, that would be a very easy trip to plan too.
Yeah, I mean,
it would be. I mean, I don't know. It used to be cheap to fly to Iceland. I don't know anymore.
I don't know, but like let's see, it's gonna happen.
I'm talking like 80 years ago.
80 years ago.
Okay, bro, you weren't. Bro, what the fuck were you doing?
Flights back
bro,
then?
on kayak.com, it was going crazy back then in the 80s.
The deals?
$5.
Bro, $5 to up in the boat.
5 coins, bro.
Yeah, you up in the boat and you just sleep for 3 months and you're there.
Yeah. It was cheap
sleep
back
for
then.
3 months.
Bro. You might die, but it was cheap.
Bro, it's crazy. Back then you had to move like it take like months to get from another continent. I was thinking when I was like, it's crazy that we even complain that. Like
hop on like a 7-hour flight, like
yeah, like bro, this is so fast. Like for people like back then, you must have been insane saying like, oh, I'm going to Japan, it's gonna take me half a day instead of like 7 months.
Yeah, to get from Montreal to Japan before a plane would have taken like
I don't know, man. Like it's one of those
3 months.
More than that.
Because you have to take. I guess you could take rail across.
I'm gonna.
At what point in time?
ChatGPT.
But like, okay, what point in time are we saying when there's rails and steamboats?
I'm gonna say before, or like before planes. How long?
I guess before planes is like something we can imagine.
Okay, you could take maybe like 4 days, 5 days on the train to Vancouver, and then you take a boat. That would probably take maybe 3 weeks. So maybe it's like a month, or maybe 2 weeks to get across. So.
Across the whole planet? I think it's gonna take 5 months. to get from before planes?
No, you're high, bro.
Let's
you're
see. We'll
high,
see.
bro.
How long would it take to get from
Like
Montreal to Tokyo before
isn't this thing
plane
about like doing the like going
existed?
around the world in 80 days? Isn't that a whole fucking book about the guy that did like?
Okay, maybe I don't know. We'll see right now. This.
I think it's gonna take like 3 weeks.
Okay,
3
by
weeks.
the sea. Montreal, New York. Okay, it's doing the whole. Bro, it's like telling me how to do it. So okay, so okay, yeah, you're right. 30 to 40 days, for by boat. By boat, pre-steamship. Okay, oh, that's okay. That's pre-steamship, 4 to 6 months. So when is that? The 1800s, 19th century.
4 to 6 months.
Okay, so
Yeah,
late 19th century is 30 to 40 days.
But then, like before, like late 19th century, like when they had steamship and railroads, then it's like still 40 days. 40 days of travel is a long time. But still, you can get to the other side of the world, basically. But
before that, it would be 6 months. That's crazy.
yeah. Before that is 4 to 6 months. And also, like, I feel like if you go for that much, it probably takes even more. In the sense of, like... Because this is probably just, like, you just travel, pure travel. But I feel like you stop in between.
No, I mean, I'm guessing if it's ChatGPT, it's like it's from...
Yeah, I guess. Okay, so yeah, they say, like, basically early... It's crazy also, like, early 18th century, the 19th century, it's 4 to 6 months. And then at the end of the century, it takes, like, 4 times faster.
Yeah.
So just 1 month.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like, no, but also, like... I feel like the rate at which technology has been going, it's almost unfathomable. Because, like, that's not that long ago. That's, like, a few generation back, Like, what, 200 years? That's, like, because one person can be 100 years old.
I mean, we're peaking. I feel like, we're peaking, and...
We always feel like we're peaking, bro. Humanity always feels like it's peaking.
Dude, like, honestly...
I don't think we're peaking.
I feel like, what we're seeing is like, okay, right now, the biggest thing is what? Large language model. What are they?
Yeah.
They're just, like, predicting the next word based on fucking all the data in the world. But, like, it's not like you can just print out a second world of data. They used everything they could. They put it in the system, and now that's where it is, right? And it's costing, like, billions of dollars of computing, and, I mean... Like, for me, what I'm looking at is, like, we're trying to, like, we're never gonna get, like, from early 19th century to late 19th century. Like, if you take, like, from, like, the 1800s up to now, like, going from, like, no
that's debatable,
penicillin...
brother, because, like, just look at how much, like, machine learning and all that shit grew within, like, 20 years. Within 20 years. I mean, it's insane. It's like we went from archaic, like computers could barely write shit, to computers can produce images that are photorealistic.
All we did was break all they did is just break laws. Like they just went from like, oh, we're gonna train on data we own, or oh, we're just gonna steal all the data available and train our models on it.
Yeah, but still, like I don't care how they do it. It's just like they did it.
But like,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, but once they've done it, now like it's been proven. If you train a model on itself, it gets worse and worse and worse.
But also, like, I don't care if it's just like that's AI, but like whatever. I don't fuck AI. Even if we look at just physical, like cheapery and all this shit, like making computers, it's gone crazy. Like the first computers were not that long ago. Like it was like what, 50 years ago, 60 years ago? The first computer, like fucking like the shittiest motherfucker. But like that's less than her. Like my grandma is older than that.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that from here, like, well, basically what I'm saying is like there's been changes that have been for the best, but like how many changes for the best are there still to go, and how much more for the worst there's coming from that,
I don't know. That's the thing. I feel like the only thing that.
But why does that apply now more than before? Because
we're aware of it. We're aware that like this, like basically the 1800s when they were dumping lead into lakes, they didn't care, they didn't know. But now we know what it does. We know like we know there's consequences to when we create energy a certain way.
Oh, yeah.
The waste has a certain consequences.
I mean, I feel like we've known too a little bit.
But exactly, they didn't know. So there's also, by that logic, there's stuff now that we don't know that in the future we'll know.
Yeah, this really shit that we're doing right now, we have no idea. Is like one of the main, reasons.
Yes, in a sense, information is finite.
Yeah.
like there's only so much to understand and learn, but I think like
We're
the scale
pretty-
of what there is, like, you know,
We're, like, at
we're
nothing.
not there yet.
Exactly. I feel like genuinely there's so much more. Like we're a pretty young species. Do you think we're gonna speed run this shit?
No, what I'm thinking is that, you know, we can send people's. I'm gonna per quote Wim Hof, but like, we can send people to send fucking like metal ships to Mars, but like on the human level, we're still like fucking
We don't
terrible.
have water everywhere. Yeah, no. I know.
Like we're
But
just
that's the
terrible
problem.
at everything.
That's
you know.
no, but also that's an opinion, because what's terrible? Technically, we're doing so much better than we have ever been doing. There's no time and place in human history that we've been doing better than this. Like,
That's true, though.
there's more people with water. There's more people with food. Sure, it's not fucking fixed. There's a ton of people starving and being dehydrated. But it's
It's true that it's better than
it's
ever
never
been.
been that good, and it's also like only getting better.
It's better than it's ever been, and for us, like it feels like it's the peak of what it could be.
Yeah,
But like there is a million people in impoverished countries that don't have shit.
Yeah,
and we
definitely.
we still have to take care of that.
Yeah.
Like as a,
True.
you
And
know
then-
what I mean?
and
Like
then
we
genuinely
have to
people
get
like
to
you.
a point where like, you know, the average quality of life is like, you know, worldwide is
Yeah.
like
Respectable.
something to be respectable. Yeah.
And also, I feel like I want to believe, because I feel like you also have a more pessimistic outlook on shit. But I believe that there's people like you that have the resources to make a better world, that are trying to, at least. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I believe you.
And I believe that, like, hopefully one day there's like a motherfucker that makes like a source of energy that's you know, fucking trash free and all that shit, and like everybody can use it. It's utopic, but like, bro, that's like back then, like nobody fucking thought electricity was gonna be that accessible. You know what I mean? Like even before, it was still a dream. Like motherfuckers were like lighting shit with fucking gas, and you know, even before, like I feel like we don't look, or we don't accept humanity to do better than we're doing, but every time we do better. Like every time we've done better. So I'm like, I wish, honestly, if this was the end and like this is the peak humanity, I wouldn't mind. Like this is pretty cool. The thing is just that from this perspective of like, you look behind us and you're like, low-key, like, why would it stop now? Because
Well,
we're
no,
not
okay.
that special. I think like we're
But-
just one of the eras
But
of
my view on
humanity.
but my view is strictly about technology, in the sense where I
Mhm.
feel like technology is taking more and more capital
Yeah. But I feel like,
for
bro,
less and less outcome for most people. Like, okay, like honestly,
So
like
you
who's
think-
benefiting from
uh,
AI? You think that the majority of people are benefiting from AI? Who's benefiting? Like
I don't know, no.
like I don't know, like multinationals that are cutting hundreds of jobs, or like
yeah, but
like, you
also
know, and-
like people like me are getting more knowledge because it's somewhat free. You know,
Yeah,
like.
but, like
I don't think it's comparable. I know what you mean. I get it, and I
Yeah.
feel like you're right. It's easy to say like, oh, they're winning. Yeah, but like, how much are we winning? We don't even know. Like, maybe like someone like, you can code shit. Like I don't like, I know how to code a little bit, but like
Yeah,
using ChatGPT, I can do it even better. You know what I mean?
You can just code the whole shit with
And like,
AI. Yeah.
no, but the thing is that at least like, this is a new learning tool. This is a new creation tool. Like it's technically like, that's the thing about the hammer too. Like, where the fuck my hammer? Anyway,
I put it on top of the camera.
Oh, like, you know, like the hammer. It's like, he has an infinite potential technically, but it's like what I decide to do with it that matters. Cause like, if AI is like this fucking fuck tool, like no, then maybe the world would have been already dead. Like if it was actually that. For me, it's like, I believe that there's people doing good with it and there's people doing bad, obviously. But like, I just hope that there's gonna be more than good than bad. That's it. But at the end of the day, a hammer is a hammer. I can murder you with it, or I can build a house, and it's gonna be that. You know, it's just like,
That's well said.
you know.
But it's just, let's just say that, you know, from my perspective on it, is just that we're like, with technology, we've been centralizing power
Yeah.
in a way that's very scary.
100%. But also, I'm not that scared, because I'm the type of person that, you know, there's just like some tools that are instantly, you can tell they're not good. And I believe AI is not that. It's not that, because like uranium is. You know what I mean? Like fucking.
But, I mean,
in a
we're
certain
thinking-
sense. And
In
even
a certain sense, but you know, like, they're thinking about making a bunch of, they're like when Microsoft think they're gonna be making their own like fucking nuclear plants because they're taking too much power.
That's good. But like
Yeah,
that's also
good.
the problem with humans. Like we're always like, I think the main problem we're gonna have to deal with is not like scaling up. It's like figuring out how we're not gonna scale too much.
Exactly.
Yeah, but that's the thing. For me, like humans, we're gonna be bigger. It's just like we have to figure out how much bigger we want to be before we stop scaling up. Because if we keep, I feel like we could keep on scaling up, but that might be our hand too. Like,
But like, okay,
trying
exactly.
to scale up all the time will kill us.
I think
you know?
we're saying the same thing because, like, from
Yeah.
my perspective, we've reached a point where when we scale up, it's not benefiting that many people.
Oh yeah, no, but that's okay. This for sure we have the same opinion.
Yeah,
I
because
don't-
like
I
I'm
don't-
thinking like when
I
they
believe-
invented penicillin, like they saved like millions of lives. You know,
Yeah.
like that was some crazy like everyone's winning shit.
Yeah.
Like you know like the quantum computer. Like who the fuck is it's not useful for anybody and like the only usage that
Yeah.
they're finding.
I
for
wouldn't
it-
know, bro. It's like I wish I understood all this shit, but like
But like
I don't have the-
basically I read a bit of it and like basically what they're trying to find is just like entropy. Like they're trying to find entropy to make infinite energy. But like that's the whole like
yeah,
that's
okay, but also like what happens when we have infinite energy, bro? Like I feel like we already have so much energy when doing all this fuck shit with it. If we have infinite energy and then there's no guilt about using energy, oh my god, we're gonna be fucked. Like it's gonna be not fucked, but like we're gonna be so extra. Like humans love being extra, bro. Already now that we know that all
like-
this like spending energy is fucked, you know?
all I know is just like you know they're like with the amount of money they're putting on that stupid fucking device that is guessing passcodes and it takes like weeks to find something.
Yeah, I saw like the thing, but like yeah, what the fuck? Like it's gonna change the whole like cybersecurity
is dead.
is dead. The
Yeah.
second that those computers actually work functionally like on a like without the error, like I heard about like the error rate or whatever. Like when they fix that, then it's gonna have a huge impact on the world. But like how? I don't know. Is it gonna just like passwords are not gonna be a thing anymore, and then it's gonna be just like scanning your fingerprints? But then is that hackable? I don't know. You know?
Yeah.
Like who fucking knows, bro?
But it's
That's the
just
thing.
like I don't know. It's for me. I'm like you know, it's just dystopian as fuck. You know, and it's like, oh, you've been recording with the